the civilized countries of things that attract investments, a lot ease of doing business. But when we are saddled with strike in the health sector, strike in this sector, and that,
I didn't like that civilized country of the world that you used. If you had said developed countries,
development represents civilization, and civilization represents development.
We are civilized. We are civilized.
We are. No, we are. I know we are. I agree with you. So but it's just an expression,
I know.
Theoretical expression.
But okay, I hear you. And I do understand the point that you're making, that it's not always convenient for our rulers to do the right thing. They oftentimes will do what directly serves a particular interest. It might not even be personal, it might be political. It might be political, but it might be a party interest, it might be whatever it is. But you've been at pains to explain that the Constitution lays this down as a right. It's the law. And so local councils, local governments, they should be able to get this, but the way we're manipulating, so what's the way out? What exactly is the way out, apart from waiting for development to come and when we begin to do things in line with the Constitution? Right now, Governor Lalong said that people don't understand I was reading the story, people don't really understand what the executive order is all about. So people should go and read the executive order and know that financial autonomy is a totally different thing, and that for the avoidance of doubt, we are, that is the Northern Governor, we are for financial autonomy.
Yeah, but at the practical level, it's the same thing we are saying. It's like when we sit here and someone is telling me by policy statement that Nigeria is more secured in year 2021 than it was in year 2012, for example. I mean, you need to ask questions. We have just been theoretical. Okay, now, they are on strike. So why did they go on strike? That is an industrial relations issues.
Yeah.
So if things are working on well, would they have gone on strike if you are in support of the financial autonomy? And we are not looking at the consequences.
Well, he did
Do
say
you
that.
know that, sir, in the last 1 week or thereabout of this strike, we have lost billions of naira in terms of business activities that have been stifled, So we don't look at this. We don't. And let's ask another question. We travel abroad. Our leaders do. They see how the system runs over there. When discussing the issue of COVID-19, many of them even ran abroad to get vaccinated before the vaccines got to Nigeria. Our president just came back from the UK. So you can imagine that when my president, whom I respect so much, got to the UK, the doctors went on strike. Where would he have gone for his medical care? We need to look at this and look at Nigeria as a beautiful bride that God has blessed so much, and make sure that the wedding gown is white on the wedding day. You see, let's help this country. Let's help this country. And you now begin to ask the questions. The allocations that run through the executive, to the judiciary, and the legislative arms, and you don't release what should be released, you release in tranches or whatever, just to manipulate. What do you get at the end of the day? How do we develop?
Okay. One moment, please. Bola has called in from Arepo. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I just want to make my own opinion known on all these problems that Nigeria keep facing all the time.
Go right ahead.
Are you there? Yeah, it has to do with political system that we happen to find ourselves in, which I think we aren't that right for the political system of governance. I believe, okay, taking the Dubai quit essential, they've been able to survive. All these were based on the vision. I was watching your view this morning. One of the ladies that anchors was talking about vision. I think Nigeria is a visionless society as far as I'm concerned. It's just soldier go, soldier come, as far as the political system is concerned. There is no one leader that Nigeria has produced that has that vision, clear-cut, written down. If somebody has, a lot of systems are so much established around that will frustrate that aspect. Then at the end of the day, it will just be just like I was reading Mein Kampf, that is Adolf Hitler's book. He said you are having 30 members of parliament. At the end of the day, 28 are thinking in one direction. The two that are thinking in the right direction, at the end of the day, they seem like non-entities. So the problem of Nigeria right now, I don't believe in our political system. When the military were in power, they were visionless as well. If we had had, during that military period, if we had had a visionary leader that could just steer things, that was maybe 50 years plan agendas, and we, stick by it, and things go by the way it should go, well stocked with, I think Nigeria would be a better society. But the fact that, this political system, as far as I'm concerned, is a merry-go-round system. It's just be revolving around the same circle. Jonathan was, annihilated. We brought in Buhari. Things have gone so much worse. So that's my whole opinion.
Well, thank you very
about
much.
What is happening. And we're talking about executive arm of government. It has to do with...
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling. Appreciate your call. But we also need to say that those opinions were indeed yours. And we don't identify with those opinions, but they were yours, especially about Nigeria being a visionless society. But, we say things, especially when we're angry, when we're frustrated, when things are not happening fast enough. So thank you very much for contributing that opinion, which was yours entirely. Now, but there are some things that came out of the critique. Look, many people might be feeling like Bola, that why don't things work in Nigeria? We have the brains, we have the jurists, we have the administrators, we have everything to make a society work. But because of the system, that's what Bola is complaining about. There's a system called the Nigerian society, that messes things up. He just went too far when he said Nigeria is a visionless country. Nobody's going to sit down here and accept that.
Yes, that was a harsh one, but we also need to avoid throwing that comment away. We need to come back to the power of vision.
Okay, 1 second. Let me add Ada from Jos. Let me add Ada from Jos. Good morning, Ada. Thank you for calling in.
Ada from Jos.
Yes, Ada.
Okay. Ada from Jos. Ada, Mr. Yori, and your guest. Very interesting conversation. If we have strong institutions, no leader will flagrantly abuse the Constitution, which in my view is a constitutional practice. Example, the financial autonomy for the military, the financial autonomy for local government, the financial autonomy for the legislative arm and the rest of them. But all these things continue because we are almost a lawless society.
Hey,
then if I have my way,
Ada, you too.
I will say that the strike,
you too.
The judiciary workers should continue. It must continue. Let them not down their tools until this change is done. You should have this change.
Okay. I get what you're saying, Ada. And, as a matter of fact, Governor Lalong is reported to have said that they are going to make efforts to be meeting with these people, that especially to bring Jusun's 8-day strike now to an end.
It's not just about bringing the strike to an end, but dealing with the fundamentals.
Satisfying.
We're talking about vision. In 1965, Singapore left Malaysia as a very poor region, frustrated but determined to excel. And years after, Singapore is one of the best places to live and work in the world because the leadership decided we are going to be pragmatic. We are going to create wealth locally with the little we have, and with the local wealth created, attract global wealth, which are the two stages of sustainable wealth creation in any society. So for them, it was critical embarking on meritocracy. They trained the workforce, studied the template.
I'm very happy you continued up to here, that because Singapore is often cited, and I was going to come in, but I'm so happy that you yourself completed the story by saying that they then went into this whole regime of meritocracy. It doesn't. You can't be giving somebody a card and be calling up and say your son is coming to see you.
Yes.
Find something for him.
Zero tolerance for corruption.
Okay.
Beautiful.
There were even some aspects where democracy allegedly suffered a bit.
In fact, Lee Kuan Yew said he wasn't out for democracy.
There you go. So when people try to compare us with Singapore,
it's not. You know, when I went back to study public relations, I mean, one of the things I learned is that, and that was the direct expression, that all systems of government are good. Let fools argue. Now, what kind of democracy is practiced in the UAE, United Arab Emirates, where the leader, Sheikh Zayed, the founding father of the modern UAE, rose up and said, in this region, there must be prosperity. He embarked on education. In fact, at the time, he said that wealth is not money. Wealth is developing people. You see, you go to Dubai right now, as great as the world claims that environment is, you see projects going on. You get to Abu Dhabi airport, 24/7 services. You enter one of the aircrafts. Is, you know, in fact, the jingle is welcome to the world.
Yes.
You see the Airbus that picks you from Abu Dhabi to JFK in New York. You'll be amazed. You want to repeat that experience. So you see them investing massively.
Yeah, but that's a monarchy.
That's what I just said now. Okay. System of government.
System of government.
If we don't resolve our governance mindset in Nigeria, we may even claim to be running God's style of government. It will still not work.
Okay.
And that is why I want us to embrace the concept of vision. What do we want Nigeria to be like?
Okay. Malobi, good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning, Mr. Jide. I've come to really love this man for some years now.
Okay.
Yes, I think if we want to get it right, permit me to let you know that number one, we must have respect for our constitution.
Okay.
Because what is happening right now is more like Nigeria is being run by the mindset and the brain of some individuals in a place of authority. There's no nation that can get it right. If you don't have respect for the working material, which determines the movement and the rights of the people. Can you imagine a situation, judiciary will give pronouncement and the executive will flout it? It means that what you are trying to say is that your mind is superior to the working document of the nation. Now let me tell you something. It will get to a point where in the book of Judges in the Bible, chapter 21, verse 25, that said there was a time Israel had no king. Everybody did what seemed right in his own eyes. Once that happens, you find a state of chaos. And let me also say this for want of time, my brother, that another problem that we have is how does our leaders emerge? Somebody emerges as a leader as a result of chance, miracle, opportunity, religious sentiment, tribal sentiment, geographical sentiment, not having the pedigree and the competency to be able to deliver. And when it comes to the table and you begin to pick pitfalls from his policies, those people who felt or who feel they are more Nigerians than yourself begin to call you wailer, begin to call you all manner of names, rather than knowing fully well that what you're doing is to have a Nigeria that is good for all of us. And lastly, my brother, can we also say, do we have a Nigerian project? What you have, a Nigerian project. You have a Nigerian dream. This is our takeoff point. This is where we intend to land in the next 2 years. This is what we intend to land in the next 10 years. So that whether Uncle Yori becomes the president, whether Malobi from Jos becomes the president, whether Mazio Korokrafo becomes the president, there is a blueprint, there is a program. It becomes immaterial. What we're coming to do is to consolidate on the achievements of the other person.
Yeah.
You take it to the next level. I see the way you are taking your hair. God bless you, my brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really was enjoying that. And essentially, it goes back to Bola from Arepo's point, because, Malobi just put in there that there must be a vision. Yeah, so that was slightly different from this is a visionless country.
And if you look at what
I just had to give kudos to Malobi, to Bola, that look, whereas we didn't accept as our opinion the way he put it, but this also harks back to that.
And that is one of the major problems in Nigeria. You know, in the Western world, you are open to criticisms because you want to develop. Uncle Yori, if you ask me to come and carry out a conversation, and you are meeting me for the first time, and I bring out a Sagem phone from my pocket, you ask me to step aside. That was the technology then, yes.
You remember Sagem?
It was criticism. In fact, my question when Sagem came, I asked my wife, can't we listen to music on phone? That has brought us to where we are now, that the whole world is in your palm. But we are close to criticism in Africa. And that's why we are where we are. Do you know, sir, that as we speak now by content analysis, all schools in China have access to internet? You know now that with drones, you can fuel aircrafts in the air.
Yeah, we know all those things.
You know now that China is planning to build a train system underwater.
But you're not going to say, why is Nigeria not like that? That's not what you're going to say next.
If we are not asking that question, when do we write? The United Nations came up with the Sustainable Development Goals that will be evaluated in year 2030. Here we are. What have we done to keen to ease? Zero tolerance for poverty, and now we are making excuses for banditry. I was so touched when I heard the excuse that, okay, some rebels from Libya are bringing ammunition into Nigeria. And the question that came to my mind, sir, was why did they not take this ammunition to Rwanda? Why did they not take this ammunition to Ghana? Why did they not take this ammunition to Benin Republic, our next door neighbor? Why are they bringing the ammunition to Nigeria? And Mr. Bola spoke about vision. We woke up one day and shut down our land borders.
Yes.
At the end of the day, to say that we never benefited from it. So where is the power of vision in all this?
Okay.
And I think that is...
I got to hear from Sam in Ikeja as well. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Uncle Yeri.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yes. Interesting program, you know. First of all, yesterday I saw a video where...
Please carry on. I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying yesterday I saw a video where Yakubu Gowon was commissioning the Volkswagen and the pan in Kaduna, you know, and I was moved to tears. So, are you with me?
Yes,
Sorry?
yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
And I was moved to tears. You know why? Gowon had a development plan for this country. And, you know, after he left government, you know, we entered into the 80s, everything going haywire. What happened? Corruption setting.
Yeah.
You know, we need to go back to those days where we had a development plan that will be successive, you know, irrespective of whoever is coming to office. We need to have a development plan. And, you know, this thing trickles down to the fact that corruption has eaten deep, too deep, way too deep to our system. And it's our fault. We as Nigerians, let's not blame the politicians. After all, the politicians came from our midst. So it is we ourselves as Nigerians, we are a function of what, of the leadership we get now. We need a reorientation, we need to change a lot of things.
I want to thank you, Sam. Thank you very much for calling in. And quite frankly, in between, we started off with this whole business of you know, financial autonomy, and it's led to all of these other because they're all connected. You know, especially in Bola in Arepo, you know, he was quite harsh, but there was the kernel in there. There was the kernel in there that we got to have some sort of plan so that we know how we're doing or not. And that's something that Sam has also developed upon, as you indeed were as well. I'm afraid we've run out of time, but we've also learned a lot of lessons. Take, who was the gentleman that spoke before Sam? He just listed all of Nigeria's issues, you know, from, you know, favoritism to nepotism to a lack of, what is that? A lack of meritocracy.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Just if it is No, let me just let go.
Then focusing on the power of vision.
No, we don't have time. We don't have time. We don't have time. We don't have time. But I want to thank you. We do have the time for me to thank you very much, Mr. Jide Ologun, lawyer and policy analyst. And I'm sure you give us more of your beautiful ideas the next time you're around. Thank you very much for coming.
Surely, sir. God bless Nigeria.
Indeed. God bless Nigeria. And I also want to express our thanks to the doctors that came on earlier, Dr. Amadili Boyo and Dr. Ajoku Amadiobi, all the way from Ireland. That's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.